In this video, we're going to discuss how to deal with underapplied or overapplied manufacturing overhead, which we'll do using our example of Camilla Inc., a manufacturer of custom cakes. There are two methods we can use to apply overhead to each job, either the plant-wide rate or departmental rates. To determine over and underapplied overhead, we're going to return to the use of the plant-wide rate. Recall that at the beginning of each year, we estimate the total annual overhead costs and the total annual activity level in order to develop a predetermined overhead rate. We need this rate so that we can apply manufacturing overhead, which is an indirect cost of manufacturing a product, to the cost of the product. For Camilla Inc., the predetermined overhead rate, using the plant-wide rate, is $22 per direct labor hour, calculated as the estimated annual overhead cost of $462,000 divided by the estimated annual activity level of 21,000 direct labor hours. Camilla's predetermined overhead rate means that for every 1 hour that direct laborers work, $22 of overhead should be applied to the job. Remember, we then use the predetermined overhead rate and multiply it by the actual activity level used in the production of an order. This sum is the amount of overhead we need to assign to the job. For Camilla Inc., we took our predetermined overhead rate of $22 per direct labor hour and multiplied it by the actual activity level used in the job, 3,400 direct labor hours. The sum, $74,800, is an estimate of the overhead that Camilla must have used in order to produce the cakes. We then transfer that portion of the manufacturing overhead costs from the overhead control account, the account where we accumulate actual overhead costs, into the work in process inventory account by increasing the work in process account and decreasing the overhead control account. We then flow this through the expanded accounting equation. The total costs of the job are now included in the work in process account, direct materials, direct labor, and applied manufacturing overhead, $74,800. Note that if we add up the overhead control account at the end of the month, there is a difference between the actual amount of overhead incurred, $5,000 plus $3,000 plus $91,000 for a total of $99,000 of overhead incurred, and the overhead applied to the job we completed, the negative $74,800. Why? Because the amount of overhead applied, the $74,800, is just an estimate based on an estimated predetermined overhead rate. The estimate is rarely equal to the actual overhead incurred. Are we worried about this difference? Well, not at the end of the month we're not. Why not? Because we'll be producing lots of other products over the remainder of the year. We might use some of what's left over in overhead control in the next job or the job after that. However, what if there's a difference at the end of the year when all the jobs are complete? What then? The best way to explain what we have to do is to continue our Camilla Inc. example. We're going to fast forward to the end of the current fiscal year. At the end of this fiscal year, Camilla's assembly line workers had worked a total of 21,600 direct labor hours. The company has also incurred actual manufacturing overhead costs of $438,800. Knowing that, we can determine the total amount of manufacturing overhead applied during the year by using our formula. We'll multiply the predetermined overhead rate by the total actual activity level for the year, the actual hours that the workers worked. So, $22 per direct labor hour multiplied by 21,600 actual direct labor hours is equal to $475,200. This is the manufacturing overhead applied to all the jobs during the year and therefore transferred out of the overhead control and into the work in process inventory. If this amount is transferred into WIP, what would our overhead control account look like at the end of the year? This is our overhead control account. Note that we're focusing only on overhead control in this video, which is why it's the only account showing. I'm also only showing the year-end balances, not the hundreds of entries that management would have made during the year for every single job that they completed. you can see that the actual manufacturing overhead incurred is $438,800. In addition, the total manufacturing overhead applied to the jobs throughout the whole year is negative $475,200. Negative because it's being transferred out into work in process. See anything interesting? Well, it's no surprise that at the end of the year, after overhead has been applied to all the jobs, the two amounts do not match. That's because we used an estimated overhead application rate of $22 per direct labor hour to calculate the applied overhead, and we know that estimates rarely match actuals. We can see that the balance at the end of the year is going to be negative $36,400. The amount we applied was greater than the amount we incurred. When overhead control has a negative balance, manufacturing overhead has been overapplied. Overapplied means that the overhead assigned to work in process inventory during the year was too high. Too much manufacturing overhead has been transferred over, more than what was actually incurred. Basically, we transferred too much overhead to work in process. This can't be ignored. The overhead control account is a temporary account, one that needs to be zero at the end of the year. Why? Because this is just a holding account where we record actual overhead. By the end of the year, it must be zero because we should have transferred everything over to work in process inventory. Can we do that now? No, because the work in process inventory during the year was finished, transferred to finished goods inventory, and then sold and transferred to cost of goods sold. How can we eliminate the overapplied and therefore the negative amount of $36,400? There are two methods which can be used to clear out the overhead control account: the cost of goods sold method and the proration method. In this course, we're only going to cover the cost of goods sold method. The proration method will be left to an upper-level management accounting course. Actually, the cost of goods sold method is the most common method used to clear out the overhead control account for over or underapplied overhead. Let's apply it to Camilla Inc. At year end, we need an entry that will reduce the overhead control account to zero. Since we have a negative balance, we'll have to add the same amount, $36,400, into the overhead control account. Therefore, the year-end entry will be an increase to overhead control and a decrease to the cost of goods sold for the same amount, $36,400. When we make this entry, the overhead control account will be equal to zero, and the cost of goods sold account will decrease. How will this affect the cost of goods sold calculation? Assume that at the end of the year, Camilla's cost of goods sold for the year, before any adjustments, is $1,881,400. Our entry would result in a decrease in the cost of goods sold, so we'll see an adjustment for overapplied overhead, negative $36,400. We are subtracting $36,400 from cost of goods sold as an adjustment for the overapplied inventory. This makes sense. We applied too much overhead, so our cost of goods sold is too high. We have to reduce it for the overapplied overhead. $1,881,400 minus $36,400 is equal to $1,845,000, which is the adjusted amount that will be transferred to the income statement as the final cost of goods sold amount. Notice that when the adjustment is made for overapplied manufacturing overhead, the cost of goods sold is reduced, which means that Camilla's gross profit and profit will increase. So when manufacturing overhead is overapplied, the difference is deducted from cost of goods sold and added to the overhead control, so that the overhead control will be equal to zero at the end of the year. What would happen if the manufacturing overhead was underapplied? Let's do another example using Camilla Inc. to demonstrate this. Let's assume, for example 2, that at the end of the year, Camilla's assembly line workers had instead worked a total of 19,200 direct labor hours. The company had also incurred actual manufacturing overhead costs of $438,800. Knowing that, we can determine the total amount of manufacturing overhead applied during the year using the formula. Multiplying the predetermined overhead rate of $22 per direct labor hour by the actual activity base used, 19,200 direct labor hours, equals the overhead assigned, $422,400. This is the manufacturing overhead applied to all of the jobs during the year and therefore transferred into the work-in-process inventory account from the overhead control account. What would our overhead control account look like at the end of the year under example 2? You can see that the actual manufacturing overhead incurred was $438,800. In addition, the total manufacturing overhead applied to jobs throughout the year is negative $422,400. Why negative? Because it's been transferred out of the overhead control account into work-in-process inventory. This time we see that there is a positive balance of $16,400 remaining in the overhead control account. This means we applied less than the amount we incurred, and as a consequence, we don't have enough overhead in the work-in-process inventory account. When manufacturing overhead has a positive balance, manufacturing overhead is underapplied, meaning too low. We didn't transfer enough. We need an entry that will reduce the overhead control account to 0. Since we have a positive balance, we have to reduce the account by the same amount, $16,400. What would be the year-end entry to clear the underapplied manufacturing overhead? It would be to increase the cost of goods sold by $16,400 and decrease the overhead control account by the same amount. You can see that the overhead control account would now have a 0 balance. How would this entry affect the cost of goods sold calculation? If we look at the unadjusted cost of goods sold, it would start out as $1,881,400. When manufacturing overhead has been underapplied, the difference is added into the cost of goods sold, which would increase the cost of goods sold amount. So the adjustment for underapplied overhead is positive $16,400. The cost of goods sold adjusted at the end of the year would be higher. $1,881,400 plus $16,400 is equal to $1,897,800. Why are we increasing the cost of goods sold? Because we applied too little manufacturing overhead during the year. The increase in cost of goods sold will cause Camilla's gross profit and profit to decrease. Let's recap. When manufacturing overhead is overapplied too much, the difference is deducted, reducing the amount of cost of goods sold and increasing our profits. When manufacturing overhead is underapplied too little, the difference is added, increasing the cost of goods sold and decreasing profits. That's it for how to deal with under and overapplied manufacturing overhead. Remember that this may look easy, but it requires time and practice to master. As always, thanks so much for watching.